Welcome into One-on-One on Suddenlink Channel 112, live from Studio 318 here at Oklahoma State. I wore my green today because Tiger is a major champion. I'm Reed Spencer, joined by my co-host Logan Mosier, as always. He did it!
Finally.
The improbable, the impossible happened. Tiger Woods won his 15th major. It feels good.
It does.
This is a great day for golf fans.
Absolutely. It's a great day for sports fans in general because golf's just better when Tiger's good. When Tiger's winning, and he didn't win by double digits, or he didn't dominate like he used to, but what is he, 43 years old? Is he the second oldest guy to ever win the Masters behind Jack Nicklaus?
I'm not sure what the record is on that, but all I know is that it was a long 14 years until he put on another green jacket. It was 11 years since he won his last major. No one thought, including myself, thought he could actually pull it off.
Yeah.
Now, everyone's going back through the media and, freezing cold takes, right, the Twitter pages, digging up all this anti-Tiger stuff. I didn't think Tiger was done playing golf. I didn't think he could pull off a major. But he shot 70 on Thursday, 68, 67, and finished with a bogey on 18, but luckily he had a two-shot lead to win that Masters. It was just an incredible weekend. They move the tee times up because of the weather. They play in threes. It was just the red, and I was a little disappointed he didn't give that fist pump yesterday like he did.
Yeah, it was pretty short and sweet. He didn't, he didn't drag it out, but it was vintage Tiger, and I just looked it up. He is the second oldest guy to ever win the Masters. Jack Nicklaus in '86, he was 46 whenever he won that Masters. But speaking of Jack, can he catch him?
Well, he took over a decade off, and he's still only 3 away.
Yeah.
I think there's a chance that he could probably tie or catch Nicklaus, but it's going to be really, really difficult. But if Tiger stays healthy, which is going to be difficult, keeping everything together for the extent of a golf season is going to be difficult for Tiger. I don't want to limit what he did yesterday, but it's going to be really difficult to continue to do this. You see on 16 right there, almost
He's the only guy that knows how to play that hole, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, Tiger Woods was just incredible this weekend. I think there's a chance he could catch Nicklaus. I don't think he wins probably. I mean, here's the thing. It's not just Tiger out there.
Right.
You have the guys, Francesco Molinari, who we'll get to in a second, Brooks Koepka, who won 3 out of the last 6 majors. It's going to be difficult, but it's possible. It was impossible on Friday. It is now possible that he will catch Nicklaus.
I hope he gets close. I don't know if he'll be able to catch Nicklaus, just because, like you said earlier, it took him 11 years to win number 15, and he didn't win it. He won it. Credit to him. He played great golf down the stretch on Sunday, but he didn't dominate it like we're used to seeing from Tiger Woods. And like you said, there are so many other guys out there now that are, on his level, right? With the way he's playing right now, there are guys on that level, so it's not like you're expecting him to win every major anymore. So
yeah, I mean, he's not the best player in the world. I mean, he's not, but you can't take away. And if he wouldn't have had the injuries or the things that happened in his personal life, and which, by the way, were his fault, I'm not defending Tiger Woods. He deserved that speculation and the criticism from the public and from the media because of the things he did. But the injuries were what affected him on the golf course the most.
Yeah.
And he would have caught Jack a long time ago if he would have been able to stay healthy.
Right.
But now that's the key part of staying healthy. But this is such a great day for golf. Yesterday was. This week now, he's the most important person to any particular sport ever. Ever. It's not Michael Jordan. It's not LeBron James. Even if you want to go as far as Kobe, they don't mean a tenth of what Tiger Woods means to golf, to basketball. Tom Brady doesn't mean that much to football. Who means that much?
Boxing?
No. Tiger Woods means more to the game of golf than anyone has meant to any sport in history. And I will stand by that, because why did anyone in this room watch the Masters yesterday?
It's because Tiger was in contention.
Tiger Woods. Everyone in the studio, upstairs, audio booth, everyone watched a part of the Masters yesterday for one person, and that's Tiger Woods. They were waiting for the Nike commercial because of one person, Tiger Woods. He means everything to the game of golf, and the fact that golf needed him to win. They needed him to win, and it was just such an incredible atmosphere and moment yesterday for him to be making that charge. He made me really nervous on 18. He needed a bogey to win, and his approach shot was not great. It was a decent chip shot, and he needed a 2-putt. And when a putt's like that, and you need to win a Masters, nothing is guaranteed. It was very nerve-wracking, but he put it in and gets that 5th green jacket. Finishes 13 under, collects that $2 million check, which I'm sure is pretty nice.
I bet he's pretty pumped about that.
Dustin Johnson, Xander Schauffele, and Brooks Koepka finished one shot behind at 12 under. Dustin Johnson was pretty good. He shot 68, 70, 70, and 68 yesterday. Xander Schauffele was really good on Friday, but was also really good the last 2 days. If he would have been halfway decent on Thursday, he probably would have won the day. But that's incredible when you look back, at the 2-foot putts that Brooks Koepka, Xander Schauffele, and Dustin Johnson missed, and that was the difference in this. That's what's incredible about golf. And Tony Finau, there's three-way tie for second place. Third place, well, I guess technically 5th, but they finished, 3rd in stroke play. Brooks Koepka, Jason Day, Webb Simpson, Tony Finau, and Francesco Molinari at 11 under. And you had 3 at 10 under, John Rahm, Patrick Cantley, and Ricky Fowler, the Oklahoma State Cowboy. Ricky was not great. He shot 70, 71, 68, and 69. He had a great back nine yesterday, but struggled a little bit. But Ricky's going to get there because you're seeing the more consistency in his play. It used to be 2 rounds are good, 2 rounds are eh.
Yeah.
But now it's 4 good rounds, and you can see Ricky's really growing into a golfer that he's going to win a major before too long.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: Tiger Woods he won a Masters in the '90s, in the 2000s, and at the end of the 2010s. Is Tiger Woods going to win 4 Masters a Master in 4 decades?
No.
You don't think so? You don't think that's possible?
I wouldn't go that far.
Will he win a major in 4 decades?
No. Listen, I love this Tiger stuff, but I don't think he's going to go. I mean, even in his prime, he was not winning every major every single year.
Right.
He was winning a lot of them, but he was not winning them every major every single time. But he does have the career Grand Slam, so anything's possible. But Francesco Molinari, I want to talk about that. He's the most decorated Italian golfer. He's phenomenal. He seemed to have the character on the golf course that could not be rattled. He was not to be shaken. And yesterday, get on the back nine, and it absolutely all fall apart. Thanks to a pine cone on 15. He was in the lead going into yesterday. He was in that final pairing with Tiger and Tony Finau. Tony Finau finished along with Francesco Molinari at 11 under.
Is 15 that par 3?
Yes.
That him and who's the other guy in that grouping?
Tony Finau. Yeah. Well, it's a par 3 or par 4. I think it's a par 4.
But they both hit it in the water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That seemed to be the turning point for the whole tournament, because Tiger Woods played that completely differently than Molinari or Finau. He went the complete opposite direction on his first shot, and he was, the only guy. I think that's where he won, was his experience playing this course. Because the other guys, they took risks where it seemed like they didn't have to. Well, Tiger Woods just played it safe.
Last year at the British Open, Tiger kind of fell apart, and Molinari took over and dominated. And it's like, oh no, Tiger no longer has that Tiger effect. And when Brooks Koepka was kind of back and forth with him, and he thought we may go to a playoff, something bad may happen, you just felt the energy. This was Tiger's. Tiger wasn't going to lose this, because as soon as that plopped in the water the first time, you were like, okay, Tiger's going to do this. Because Francesco Molinari, I believe it was in his last 170 holes played in majors, he had bogeyed 5 times. He hadn't bogeyed in his last 49 holes up to that point.
Yeah.
And then he double bogeys, par, and then bogey again. And that was unfortunate. You kind of saw him become human.
Yeah.
You could see those emotions in his eyes. I mean, I don't think he was the case, but it looked like he was about to cry. The Tiger effect, the crowd, it was clear who the golf gods wanted to win.
Right.
And it was going to be Tiger Woods. And Tony Finau, they didn't play terrible, but Francesco Molinari shot 70, 67, 66, and then followed it up with a 74. So it was clear that he was not on his game yesterday, which is fine by a lot of people because everyone wanted to see Tiger Woods win the Masters. But it's incredible to see professional athletes, especially like Molinari, who had that exterior that was just incredible up to this point.
Yeah.
Fall apart like that, become human. You see John Rahm shank a shot out of the fairway. These guys are human. They still have to, deal with their emotions on the course, and it was clear that was the case with Molinari yesterday.
Right.
But that was also the case with Tiger Woods, and he just got the job done yesterday. I think I was more nervous than Tiger Woods though on that 18th hole. But it was a great weekend. The drought is over. It was apparently the weekend for ending droughts. Chris Davis gets a hit, by the way. Goes 3 for 5 this weekend, which I'm sure the guys from the bullpen will get into next. But it was this was probably one of the better Masters I've ever watched. Obviously, my dad's been around for a lot more weekends at Augusta than I have, and he said this was one of the better ones that he'd ever seen. But this is a great moment for golf. Great moment for Victor Hovland, too, by the way, because he was in the cabin with Tiger Woods and defending champion Patrick Reed while they put the green jacket on with Jim Nantz. He won low amateur. He shot 3 under. He had a bit of a roller coaster day. Seemed like he matched every birdie with a bogey. But he was the low am. Incredible performance. He shoots 72 and then 71s the last 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Finishes, like I said, 3 under. He's proving that he can play at this stage. Maybe the nerves got to him a little bit, but he was kind of in that race to win low-am. But what an accomplishment and what a moment for the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Absolutely. And, like you said, he's shown he can play on the pro level. So, is this his second or third year at Oklahoma State?
He's a junior.
He's a junior, so probably going to be the end. This is probably going to be his last year here. He'll probably be on the tour next year.
Yeah.
But he deserves it. I mean, he is going to be really, really good. I watched him. I didn't watch him in the last 2 rounds, but on Thursday and Friday, I was kind of following him, and I was really impressed with the way he was able to keep himself composed. He never got rattled. It never seemed like he got rattled by being, in the Masters.
No, and it was just it was a great performance for Victor. Obviously, he had Coach Alan Bratton with him.
Yeah.
But there was a great moment in the cabin when they asked him what's next, and he goes, back to school tomorrow and try and defend a national championship. So that was, it was cool to see Swingin' Pete in that orange shirt next to legend Tiger Woods while he's putting on the green jacket. That was great exposure for Oklahoma State. It was great exposure for Victor Hovland.
Yeah.
And whether it's a pro at the end of the summer or a pro next year, Victor Hovland is going to do big things in golf, and it's obviously we're a golf school, but there's a lot to finish, a lot of unfinished business for Victor Hovland and the Oklahoma State Cowboys. They finished 4th in their tournament this weekend. They probably missed him a little bit, but they're hungry to repeat as national champions. So it was a great weekend. Defending champion Patrick Reed actually finishes below Victor Hovland at 2 under.
I bet you enjoyed that.
I did. Rory McIlroy, the favorite going into the weekend, he shot a 68 yesterday, didn't even make the broadcast. He still collects a $107,000 check, but he finished 5 under, so he was a little ways away. But it was such a stacked leaderboard. I mean, Woods, Johnson, Koepka, Jason Day, Molinari, John Rahm, Fowler, Watson, Thomas, all finished there within 5 shots of the lead. So it was a great tournament. Mickelson, by the way, finishes 6 under, and he might have had the greatest moment of the weekend with his Instagram video, hitting bombs and taking a shot at Matt Kuchar. That was just great stuff. So we're going to take a quick break, come back, and it's going to be the guys from the bullpen, Jason Colicchio and Barrett Guest, are going to talk to you about everything going on in baseball. We'll be right back after this.
One-on-One is brought to you by Tinker Federal Credit Union. Visit facebook.com/TinkerFCU. While you're there for your family, we're there for you. Tinker Federal Credit Union. And OSU Communications. Not sure where to park? OSU Communications has got you covered with parking tips and bus schedule information. We'll be right back.
my mind, I was never going to walk right again. Before we were through, we had walked 23 steps. And that was my first steps of freedom. This patient is saying thank you.
Welcome back to the bullpen here on 1-on-1. You see the Astros doing Astros things recently. Very good baseball team. How you doing, Barrett?
Great, feeling good.
I heard you had a good weekend.
I did. I had fun, and ready to talk about some
baseball.
MLB, some baseball.
There we go. So let's get started right away with the Cubs. I know you're a big fan of the Chicago Cubs, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, they're kind of reverting back to their old ways a little bit.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go to that extreme because, I mean, they're really not. They're hitting the ball pretty well. I mean, I was just looking at, their team stats. They're top 10 in pretty much everything you would want for an offense in the MLB. But they are dead last in WHIP. They're like 28th in ERA. I mean, their pitching has been atrocious. And so, I mean, it seems like they're getting in a lot of high-scoring games this year, which if Darvish has been really bad. Mm-hmm. But if they can get something sorted out, there's no reason. If they can get into the playoffs, I think, maybe their offense can
come alive
steal,
a little bit.
yeah,
Steal
steal some games. So, but it's just been a disaster for them.
It's not been great. That's true. The bullpen gave up, what was it, 8 walks?
Yeah.
On this game you're on the TV here.
Have you ever seen a season where everyone's bullpen has been so bad before?
Absolutely, not good.
I feel like 90% of runs in games this year are scored after the 6th inning.
The starters come out, yeah.
Yeah, it's been insane.
Look, the Cubs just lost to you see Albert Pujols walking. That's not something you see every day. I had to just point that out. You see that the Angels, they don't have a core right now. There's no Trout. There's no, obviously, Shohei Ohtani. There's no Justin Upton. And Pujols didn't start because they're playing in Wrigley and there's no DH, and he's pretty much a defensive liability at this point at first. So they kind of lost to a AAA team, I feel like, a little bit. Oh, that was just a bad play right there. But here at the end, this is what I wanted to highlight a little bit. Schwarber on a 3-2 count checks his swing, and the third base umpire just rings him out right there, and he's getting a little angry. Yeah. There was reports that he said, "Do you want to die?" Now that's a little extreme, even for Schwarber.
Sounds like a threat.
Just a little bit. Look, it's obviously frustrating. That was, they had a runner on second and third, bottom of the ninth. It was a 1-run game, but that was a 50-50 call. That was a call that he made, and that he just has to live with it. Now, Joe Madden, this is a quote from Joe Madden. He doesn't want an electronic strike zone. He wants, quote, an electronic method to control check swings, close quote. Now I don't know how that would work.
That only you could like I don't know, put something in the bat and have like a laser like
that's.
I don't know.
I'm a traditionalist, Barrett.
Yeah.
We've discussed this before, and that's definitely not baseball. But it sounds like Joe Maddon's just kind of grasping for.
I think he was
for
just
reasons,
I think he was just upset. I mean,
it's understandable.
if you were
I
on the
guess,
other
yeah.
side, I don't think.
Like I said, it's a 50-50 call. They
Yeah.
could have called that a ball 4, and they could have, no one knows what would happen.
But I do think that the check swing, it feels like such a subjective thing, and I mean I know pretty much, like it seems like the amount of times where I see a bat and I'm like, oh, like he went, and the commentator's like, oh, he wasn't even close, or vice versa, and I'm just like, what am I looking for here? Like I feel like I have a pretty good knowledge of what a check swing is, and but it seems like it's changing every game. So I don't know. It's difficult, and I can see why it'd be frustrating and why people would want to change. But at the same time, there's not really much you can do. So you got to get over it. In the words of Bruce Pearl, get over it.
Now I know a couple of Cubs fans, and they're calling for Joe Maddon's head already. Starting 5-9 on the season, do you think
5-9 is really? I mean,
it's not terrible, but you expect more from a Cubs team like this. Rizzo, Bryant, this is a lot of talent they have.
Yeah,
you got to start.
They do have a lot of talent, but I don't think it's the manager. Like I really don't. I think I mean they've been good for the past few years. There's not really much you can do for. If you're Madden, I mean, I don't know what's going on, but there's no reason after a 5-9 start. If you get towards the middle of the season and you're 15 games out of the playoffs, then maybe. But even then, just because you missed the playoffs one year doesn't mean you need to fire someone. So
we'll keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
So let's go to a good team, the Houston Astros.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
They have been.
I don't want to admit it, but they are sizzling.
They
are sizzling.
They are heating up.
They've busted out the brooms 3 series in a row now, sweeping the Athletics, the AL West leading Seattle Mariners, and the New York Yankees.
I mean, those are all good teams. I mean, they're not all spectacular teams, but
the Athletics have a good record. The Seattle Mariners
have been the best team so far.
And the Yankees are average.
They're better than that. But like
for now, they're average.
Yeah, but at the same time, you sweep 3 teams in a row, especially teams that are, probably in the upper half of the MLB. I mean, they look absolutely incredible right now.
Yeah.
They're getting help from everywhere. Their pitching's great. Their bullpen's solid.
Yeah.
Their batting has been obviously great. So there's not much to dislike about this team. There's a reason they're probably going to be favorite. They might be the favorites.
That's the
to
reason
win it all
why
going
I think
into October.
They're going to be the AL West leaders soon enough. Like the Mariners, their days are numbered. They just got swept by them. They're only 2 games behind, and they're just creeping up. Now, Altuve's doing excellent. Bregman's doing excellent. Carlos Correa and Jake Marisnick, not a name I would say as of recent. But they're all hitting above 300, and they've all played almost every game in the season. They're having absolutely spectacular games. And even Altuve, he's hit 7 homers already, Barrett, in 16 games. He's definitely not a home run kind of hitter. He's more of the hit and run play style.
He can do it all.
He's starting to do it. He's starting to show that magic that he had when he won the MVP.
He's incredible.
He's great.
He really is. So, I think they'll be the team to beat heading into October. They're all around. They're just stacked.
Nothing is wrong with them, and I kind of envy them.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. I don't know.
But now we go to the NL West, other side. The Padres are 11-6, and I must say, Barrett, I've watched almost everything of the Yankees this year, but the Padres are a team that I've watched almost as much.
Really?
They're
fun to watch.
I'm genuinely surprised. Like, I've got to give a round of applause to Chris Kemp. I'm going to name drop some people. Chris Kemp, the international scouting head, Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, and A.J. Preller, the GM, because this team they're not spectacular, 11-6 is good, though. But they've been putting these pieces together in ways where people can hit under 100. They have 2 starters hitting, not under 100, under 200, excuse me.
Yeah.
But they've put these pieces in place where they can win these games. These games are like 3-1, 3-2, 4-1, 4-2. They're not scoring much, but they're scoring enough to win these games.
Yeah,
Barrett.
their pitching has been really good, and the thing about if you look at their starting lineup, like they don't have anyone that's
batting above 250.
Like
Fernando Tatis, a star, by the way, he's really good. I'm really into him.
But, I mean, Will Myers is having a good
start,
season
yeah.
So far, but there's no one. Obviously, Machado is a superstar, but there's no one.
That's an amazing throw that just happened on television right there.
They're also very good defensively,
yes.
which is something that obviously it kind of overlooked a lot of times in baseball. But when you look at their lineup, you're like, these guys, they're all okay.
Yeah.
and I mean, that's good enough to win them.
It
11
really
games
is.
So far.
It's actually like I'm enjoying watching the Padres.
Yeah. So they're a fun team to watch. I think their pitching has been really solid. If that starts to collapse and their offense stays what it is, it could be bad. Yeah. Could be a long season. But for now, I mean, you gotta respect them. There's nothing really to dislike about them.
Yeah.
There's people that don't like Machado, but like the rest of the team, I've always really liked Will Myers. I think he still can be a really good player. Ian Kinsler, I've always been a fan of. Hosmer gets paid a lot, but he has been.
I wouldn't say he's worth the money yet. But he's been showing that he can.
He has
come back.
had an incredible career so far.
Yeah.
So far, Hunter Renfroe.
Renfroe is doing well. Yes. These players, Barrett. Like I said, I can't believe these players are doing this good. Like just good enough.
Yeah.
And it's really a sight to see.
Like this is where they need to be.
They're just above it. I love it though.
Yeah.
But I gotta stay with their bullpen. Holy smokes, because they're amazing.
Yeah.
Craig Stamen, Kirby Yates, Trey Winginter, and Adam Warren they all have wins.
Yeah.
That's like something you don't really see in a bullpen that early on, winning games, but. They're all Craig Stamen and Yates both have ERAs under 1.
Yeah, it's incredible.
They're just absolutely killing it, and I can't wait for more Padres
a lot of teams
games.
could use their bullpen right now.
Yes. Let's move down to Estadio de Baseball in Monterrey, Mexico. Barrett, the Cardinals and Reds had a 2-game series over the weekend. Nothing really exciting occurred.
Yeah, I mean it was two decent games, but nothing spectacular. But
it's playing games out of the country, and it's really interesting to watch.
Yeah, and I heard that the players had a great time. I think there's not really much to take away from in terms of, about the teams. Like kind of Reds bullpen isn't very good.
No, it's not. But they won enough. They did enough to get one win.
And so I think the fans enjoyed it.
Definitely.
I've read a lot about the players really enjoyed it. They were super fortunate to be able to go there. I think it'd be awesome to be in that stadium as a fan of either of the teams, or just as a local, just being able to go watch MLB game. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think Mexico, there's a lot of focus on like some other countries, but I definitely feel like Mexico could be a place where MLB could really grow into. So.
I love watching games outside of the United States. Building fan bases. Really incorporating the game to people outside the country. I don't know. I don't know if you want to be a Reds fan, but picking the Cardinals might be a better idea. But to each his own. And I think we should incorporate more international games going ahead. But for now we have the 2-game series in the same stadium on May 4th between the Angels and the Astros, and then for the first time ever, the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox will play in London.
Yeah,
June
that'll
29th. Be an interesting thing to see.
Yeah,
I want to see what stadium.
Yankees and Red Sox in London.
London.
That's insane.
I hope we make a whole lot of Yankees fans, Barrett, because I don't know if I can stand Red Sox fans in London. Even though I might never go there, but I never know.
That'll be insane. That'll be fun to watch. I can't wait for
it. I can't wait for it. Anyway, thanks for watching on the bullpen from Jason Cliccio and Barrett. Yes, Reed and Spencer will be right back after this commercial.
One-on-One is brought to you by Oklahoma Christian University. Get your master's degree in accounting, business administration, theology, engineering, computer science, or cybersecurity from Oklahoma Christian University. Apply at oc.edu/grad. Oklahoma University is committed to offering the best graduate school experience we possibly can. Come learn and grow with us. And The Table. Stop by The Table on Thursdays at 8 p.m. to join their Bible study. Shoot Rachel an email at rachel@thetableosu.com for more information. We'll be right back.
Welcome back into One-on-One. Thank you to the bullpen going over everything going on in baseball. But it is time to get into the NBA playoffs. On Friday, we'll get into the NHL playoffs. I know there's a lot of stuff going on there. The Lightning might be in a little bit of trouble. We'll talk about that on Friday with Barrett Guest. So let's get into the NBA playoffs. We'll start with the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Portland Trail Blazers. Remember when Billy Donovan said you can't play Cantor?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Apparently, Enes Kanter decided to play defense. He lifted the Blazers to a 104-99 win over the Thunder. 20 points, 18 rebounds. The 18 rebounds are his own personal playoff record. What did you make of, besides Russell Westbrook weirdly giving Damian Lillard space to shoot it right in his face, and he does, and I didn't understand that at all because he'd done it 5 times earlier in the game.
Yeah.
And Russ basically said,
he fell asleep.
Try me, and Dame said bet, and boom.
Yeah. There was a lot, like, obviously, Kanter, you know, I guess Billy Donovan forgot he can't play defense because, like, that hasn't changed, He still can't guard the pick and roll. I don't know why, but in the last, like, 4 or 5 minutes, they finally figured out that he actually wasn't good on defense. And, you know, it was obviously too late at that point, but the way they used him, getting Steven Adams so far away from the basket and letting guys like Damian Lillard, C.J. McCollum, or even Kanter get going downhill, that's the way to attack Steven Adams. And Portland did a really, really good job of just playing to OKC's weaknesses. And obviously Paul George wasn't 100%, it seems. He said he hadn't shot a basketball since the end of the regular season. But that's really, that you can say that, but that's not an excuse. He still managed to get 26 points. 8 for 24, but was able to get 26 points. I thought Russell Westbrook actually played relatively well, especially compared to how he's been shooting the ball this season. I thought he did whatever he could to try and lift these guys, but Reed, they were 5 for 33 from three-point range. You cannot win a single playoff game if you're shooting 33 threes. If you're the Thunder, you don't have the personnel to shoot that many threes, and you shooting 5 for 33. That's ridiculous. Meanwhile, Damian Lillard is 5 for 11 by himself, and they're 11 for 25 as a team. I still think the Thunder will win the series, but I thought Portland had a much better game plan going into this game.
They should win the series, but they should have beaten Utah last year.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't have let Kanter do the things that he did for 4 quarters. Yes, I and I think you and I can both agree on this. They should win the series because they're a better team.
Yeah.
But that's what the Thunder struggle with. That's when the Thunder do the Thunder thing in the playoffs where this has been the deal the last couple of years. They just can't get the job done when they're supposed to. Up 3-1, can't get it done. Lose to Utah. I mean, I think ultimately they'll probably win the series, but I don't see it going past this series at all.
I think they'll find a way to match Cantor. And I don't know if that's...
It can't be that hard. Everyone else does it.
Yeah. I think what you have to do is you got to try and match Nerlens Noel with Enes Kanter or try and move Jeremy Grant onto Enes Kanter. But, yeah, Billy Donovan has to come with a better game plan. And, you hope Paul George can get as healthy as possible before the next game. Because that's where it all lies. That's where the whole season they've gone up and down with however Paul George is health-wise. Whenever Paul George wasn't as healthy, they were struggling. But when he was playing, really good MVP-level basketball, they were a winning team. So number one, he has to get healthy. Number two, you got to be able to stop guys that aren't Damian Lillard or C.J. McCollum. Because there's no one else on this roster that should be giving you trouble. Everyone else you can game plan for to a pretty good extent and be able to take them out of a game.
How many games do you think this will go?
6. I think this is a 6-game series. I hope the Thunder can steal the next one in Portland because you got to take home court away from them at some point.
Yeah.
If you're just going back and forth, Portland's going to beat you in Portland every time. So you've got to be able to steal one. Maybe that's the next one. Maybe that's Game 5. But I think they'll come to OKC and we'll see a different Thunder team for sure. Just obviously playing at home. Your role players play a lot better. The crowd gets you more into it. But I'm looking at this 5 for 35 from 3.
Yeah.
I don't know why Dennis Schroeder thinks he can take 7 threes. I don't know why Westbrook thinks he can take 4. I think Jeremy Grant actually should have shot more. He was only 2 for 8 in this game, 0 for 3 from 3. But he normally has a much bigger offensive impact, and he just didn't seem to be involved in that game. So hopefully they can get him more involved. Paul George can get a little bit more healthy, and don't take 33 threes. That's not who this team is.
Well, here's the good news. It was bad shooting night.
Yeah.
And they lost 104-99.
Right.
That's the good news for the Thunder.
I mean, they gave up 39 in the first quarter. After that, they 15 in the second quarter, 22 in the third, and 28 in the fourth, which isn't good. But if you take away that first quarter and just make it manageable, the Thunder win this game.
Yeah, I think that's ultimately going to be the case. I don't think they get past the second round. But it's just bad because the optics, just the common sense of Billy Donovan, this happens time and time again, so it's got to be frustrating.
Yeah.
So the Trailblazers are up 1-0 on the Thunder, Game 2 tomorrow night. The Nets and the Magic both steal games.
Yeah.
Everyone was convinced, including myself, and I believe you, and I still don't think they'll win the series. But let's start with the Nets. He does his thing. Magic Johnson, gone. D'Angelo Russell still does his thing. They get the job done over the 76ers 104-101. And there's a little bit of controversy coming off the 76ers bench in the game. What did you make of D'Lo's performance? And then two-part question, the kind of the controversy at the end of the bench.
Yeah. I thought D'Angelo Russell did not play that well in the first half. He had a much better second half. I can't remember what exactly he was shooting in the first half, but he's not afraid to miss. He's got the Mamba mentality, Reed. Let me tell you what. But I thought he had a pretty good second half. He was a -10 overall. So what I thought where Brooklyn won this game was when they went to the bench with Karis LeVert and Spencer Dinwiddie. Even Ed Davis seemed like he was kind of like Enes Kanter. He was like, what are you guys doing? This guy has 12 points and 16 rebounds off the bench. But Karis LeVert, obviously was playing really well, had that terrible injury earlier in the year. He's back playing good basketball. Spencer Dinwiddie playing really good basketball. I thought what hurt the 76ers most was Joel Embiid only got to play 24 minutes, and J.J. Redick only got to play 23. Embiid because he's a little banged up and not 100%. J.J. Redick, I thought the Nets had a great game plan of attacking him, and he ended up fouling out with only 5 points. And then whenever you're talking about the controversy on the bench, that's not a good look. And Amir Johnson and Joel Embiid both said that he was checking on his daughter. She's extremely sick. So I get that, but
Amir Johnson wasn't going to play in the game.
I was about to say he wasn't playing. He wasn't going to get in. Could have gone to the locker room to look at that. And the fact that it's even distracting Embiid is not good. So I think they were right to fine him, but I can kind of understand. I can understand his side of it as well.
I get it, but it's bad optics.
Yeah, for sure.
And while I get we're talking about a sick child, so you got to toe the line.
Yeah.
But come on, go to the locker room.
Yeah.
There's cameras everywhere. Do you honestly think you're going to get away with that?
Yeah.
No. But of course Joel Embiid thinks, because he does this stuff all the time and thinks he's going to get away with it. You can't be doing that. It's the playoffs.
Yeah.
You've got to have better common sense about it. But the Nets get a 104-101 win. It's kind of the same thing about the Thunder. 76ers don't play well, and they still only lose by 3. That's the good news.
Yeah, and I mean, Ben Simmons has to figure something out.
Well,
he was a non-factor in this game. 9
got
points.
booed.
He did. The 76ers were getting booed as a whole multiple times. It was not a great. They gave Mike Scott 32 minutes in a playoff game. You can't do that.
No, it's not good.
Brett Brown's another one of those coaches where you kind of look and you're like, what are you doing? Like, he's not a great in-game coach.
Is he gone if they don't win this series?
Probably. I don't know. The organization seems to have a lot more faith in him than the fans do, but I would let him go. I don't believe he's a championship caliber coach anyway, and that's what Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, Jimmy Butler, these guys should have one of the best offenses in the league. They should not be losing to the Brooklyn Nets by almost double digits at home.
Yeah, it wasn't good. But now let's transition into the Magic. Magic beat the Raptors 104-101. Your guy Kawhi is now a Toronto Raptor, so choking is in full effect now in Toronto. DJ Augustine hits a clutch 3, calls game with 3 seconds left. This was, I think, one of the better games, if not the best game of all game ones in the playoffs.
Yeah, it was certainly the most surprising. If you had given me 100 guesses, I probably wouldn't have picked the Magic.
Or DJ Augustine.
Definitely not DJ Augustine. He thought he was still at Texas. But Kyle Lowry, you talk about choking in the playoffs, 0 for 7. 0 for 6 from 3, 0 for 2 from the line.
Yeah, he hasn't put up double digits in his last 4 playoff games.
Yeah, he just hasn't. I don't know what happens every year around this time, but he just shuts down. But Kawhi Leonard played really well, 25 points, 10 for 18. Pascal Siakam played really well as well, 12 for 24 points. But, the Magic, I think they hit lightning in a bottle right here. Michael Carter-Williams, 10 points, 2 for 3 from 3. You're not going to see that all the time. Terrence Ross had a really great game off the bench, even though he went 2 for 11. He got to the line quite a bit. But if you don't have DJ Augustine going off for 25, the Raptors win this game. So I wouldn't be too worried if I were the Raptors, but
you have to be worried strictly based on history. By the way, worst shot ever to win a game from your guy Kawhi Leonard.
Have you ever seen Russell Westbrook shoot some game winners?
At least they're in the same zip code. That one fell way short.
That one was pretty bad.
Yeah, that one was not great. But yes, Russell Westbrook, as you mentioned, sometimes is not great with those game winners. But yeah, I'm with you. Thunder, 76ers, Raptors. I wouldn't be worried. It's game 1, but you have to be better in game 2 because you can't find yourself at a 2-0 deficit.
No, especially if you're the Raptors or the 76ers where you're at your home court. At least the Thunder have to steal home court. And if you go home down 0-2, it's not the end of the deal. But yeah, I'd be more worried if I were the 76ers than the Thunder or the Raptors. Yeah. Just because I don't know if Joel Embiid's going to play.
Right, and you have those kind of negative storylines coming out of game 1. Bucks dominate the Pistons 121-86. Blake Griffin didn't play, but Giannis does.
That series is over. Can we call that early?
Yeah.
Is there a mercy rule?
That's not a gentleman's sweep. That's a straight sweep. Yeah. So we're going to take a quick break. Patrick Beverley and Kevin Durant tossed in game 1, and the Warriors win over the Clippers. So we're going to take a quick break, come back and talk about the Warriors and Clippers game 1. Right back after this.
One-on-One is brought to you by Oklahoma Air National Guard. Contact Oklahoma Air National Guard at 800-GO-TO-ANG or visit their website at goang.com/OK for more information about how to get 100% college tuition. And Unitarian Universalist Church. If you're looking for a church home, visit Unitarian Universalist Church of Stillwater, located at 320 South Stallard Street. They offer an alternative spiritual path and welcome all races, religions, and beliefs. They're also LGBTQ friendly. Services every Sunday at 10:30. We'll be right back.
Determining your future by selecting a major can be difficult.
It's okay to be undecided.
Connect with the College of Arts and Sciences, where your options are endless.
Where you can uncover your passions and achieve your goals.
Express your creativity by exploring a career in the visual and performing arts.
Investigate new discoveries to make the world a better place with a career in science.
Advance knowledge, communicate progress, and contribute to a healthier planet with a career rooted in the social sciences.
Discover your career by looking at the world from different perspectives through the humanities.
Realize a better tomorrow through problem solving and mining data that can change lives.
Cash prepares you to succeed through internships, study abroad, student-guided research projects, and service activities.
With 109 majors, 52 minors, and 24 departments, the only thing missing is you. College of Arts and Sciences.
Connect.
Achieve. Succeed.
When you have a team of physicians and nurses that really truly care about their patients, that translates into patient care.
It's a small practice, it's a small town. Everybody really takes that time to put the patient first.
Everybody cares what's happening to me and that I'm making progress and I'm gaining my freedom back and my mobility back. This patient is saying thank you.
This spring, I invite you to shop in downtown Stillwater. Downtown Stillwater is home to locally owned shops, boutiques, eateries, and dependable professionals that you can trust. Find the perfect gift for your graduate, have a delicious meal with mom, or just stop in to enjoy great spring savings. By creating a demand for local goods and services, you can ensure a place for the local businesses that help give our community character and keep it unique. On behalf of Downtown Stillwater, thank you for shopping local.
Welcome back to One-on-One, final segment of the day. You see there the Spurs steal a game in Denver. Surprise, surprise, the Spurs are good in the playoffs.
Right.
Shocker. But let's get into the Thunder the Warriors and the Clippers. Game one, Patrick Beverley, as he does, is being, a thorn in somebody's side. He tries to get to Kevin Durant. I thought Kevin Durant handled it surprisingly well. He just went toe-to-toe with Patrick Beverley.
Right.
And when you do that with Patrick Beverley,
you're going to get tossed.
Yeah, you're going to get tossed. But I thought Durant, in the game and after, handled it well. I don't think the Warriors are that concerned about the Clippers, which is why they kind of let this stuff slide.
Yeah.
But they get 121-104 win over the Clippers. They get tossed. Steph Curry sets a record, obviously now leader in three-point threes in the playoffs. Did it at half the time of Ray Allen, if that gives you an indication of how good Steph Curry does. And apparently he did it without half of his vision because now he couldn't see, so now he's got contacts. Right. But this was... it was a story, but more of a non-story for me, just because Patrick Beverley does what Patrick Beverley does. And if Durant would have let it, it didn't seem like it. It seemed like he was just playing along, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It seemed like he was just playing Patrick Beverley's game. He was going at him. He wasn't backing down. He wasn't trying to let Patrick Beverley have any kind of thought that he's in his head or anything like that. Which it's a bit different for Kevin Durant, but. Yeah, I thought he responded really well, and it didn't affect his play whatsoever. He still had 23 points in, 32 minutes is still a lot of time. But what I would be more concerned with, I wouldn't be concerned about Patrick Beverley and Kevin Durant. I would be concerned about DeMarcus Cousins, because I didn't think he played particularly well. Obviously, first time in the playoffs, but fouls out in 21 minutes, only gives you 9 points, 9 rebounds.
That's not good.
No. So I'm wondering how they're going to be able to play him later in some of these games, because he obviously has some flaws in his game. He's obviously recovering from an Achilles injury, not the same athletically. He was never a superb defender that they're kind of used to, and I think that's kind of helped him in this game, because they got to play Andrew Bogut quite a bit. How many minutes did he play? Oh, never mind, he didn't play that much, but he's one of those guys that they know and can trust to be out there. But it's going to be interesting. There were so many guys that played in this game, mostly because it was just a blowout. But I'm with you. I don't think the Warriors are too worried about the Clippers or Patrick Beverley. They're just trying to stay healthy and get through this as quickly as possible.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a 5-game series. I think the Clippers may steal one in L.A., but I'm not too worried about the Clippers.
There's going to be a lot of Warriors fans at that game in L.A. Let me tell you, though, Reed, Patrick Beverley regarded as a great defender, right?
Yes.
Minus 24. That was the worst for any Clipper. I think that was the worst for anyone in the game. Yeah, worst of anyone in the game. So you got to wonder if what he was doing was even working.
I don't think it was. I really don't think it was at all.
I don't either. I mean, yeah, he was on Kevin Durant, which...
I mean, I get it with guys like Russell Westbrook because you do get in their head. But Patrick Beverley, like, if you're watching the game, it's not good basketball because he's just a tool. Like, it's just stop.
Yeah.
Like, it just...
He's trying a little too hard.
Yes, and then when you go back at him, he can't handle it.
Yeah.
Just Patrick Beverley, I get it, and it's worked for him. That's probably why he's still in the league, honestly. I mean, he's a good defender, but that's now his brand. That's what he's known for. But it didn't work, and it's annoying to watch, and you got, a star tossed for it. It can't. I hope it's not this way the rest of the game or the rest of the series.
I bet it's not. I bet Kevin Durant should at least be a little bit more wary of his technical count because he's obviously going to go much further in the playoffs than Patrick Beverley is. So Patrick Beverley can get 4 or 5 technicals in this series, and it won't affect him whatsoever. But if Kevin Durant or Draymond or DeMarcus Cousins or even Steph or Clay, who don't usually get a lot of techs, but if they rack up just even a couple in this series, Kevin Durant's already got 2.
Well, yeah, and if it wasn't game 1 of the playoffs, he wouldn't have played in it anyways because he reached his technical limit, but it restarts in the playoffs.
Right. So, I mean, he's already counting to suspension in the playoffs, which ultimately cost the Warriors a championship probably in 2016. So you got to think those guys have to be more cognizant of what Patrick Beverley and those guys are trying to do when they're trying to get him to react a certain way.
I would imagine a phone call came down from the league office from Mr. Adam Silver that said to the officials that said, listen, let's not toss KD anymore and get Patrick Beverley under control.
Yeah.
Set the tempo early. And that's what Patrick Beverley talked about after the game. They said, we didn't think they should have been, and I don't think they should have been tossed, but I agree tossing them to set the tone in the series. I understand that.
Yeah.
But the Celtics get an 84-74 win over the Pacers.
This was the most boring game
there's
of
like
the entire
zero
day.
storylines.
Yeah,
I mean, 0 storylines.
It just proves that Boston has Kyrie Irving and Indiana doesn't have Victor Oladipo. They had 9 points in the third quarter. Reed, that's not exciting.
Yeah,
it's
snooze fest. About as
or they had 8 points. Sorry, they had 8 points in the third quarter.
Yeah, that's like a high school basketball score, 84-74.
Yeah.
Good basketball score, high school basketball score, but not a good NBA score. Rockets dominate the Jazz. Not a ton of storylines there.
Yeah.
Harden, 2 rebounds away from a triple-double. Spurs beat the Nuggets 101-96. DeRozan 18 points, 12 rebounds.
Yeah.
There's kind of some storylines there because the Nuggets are that number 2 seed. Now it looks a little interesting that I
picked the Spurs to win the series anyway.
You did pick the Spurs to win the series last week. By the way, those brackets we did could be thrown away because we got some matchups wrong. But in theory, it looks like the Spurs are going to give the Nuggets some trouble.
Yeah, for sure. And the Nuggets better hope they win game 2. I'm sure they will. I'm assuming they're going to come out firing on all cylinders. But you can't be going back to San Antonio down 2-0. It's over at that point. They're not going to steal a game in San Antonio, so you got to hope they can take care of business at home, which I think they will. Normally, whenever a team gets, beat like that in their home court, someone on the team will kind of rally them all together. And you got to hope it's Paul Millsap because he's the only guy that knows how to win in the playoffs. No one else on this team has even been there before, so it'll be interesting. I'll be very interested to see what Pop has for them in Game 2.
Well, the greatest coach ever.
Yeah, most wins of all time.
His incredible accomplishment from Greg Popovich. So as we mentioned, the Celtics get a win, the Spurs get a win, Rockets dominate, but now the story is officially official, right? That Luke Walton, we have to move on from mutually agrees to part ways with the Lakers because now he's the new head coach of the Sacramento Kings.
Yes.
Good hire, bad hire.
I think it's a good hire. I think, you saw what he did with that young group for the Lakers, and they were getting better every year. The Kings have already started that process. Dave Yeager, I think it's hilarious. Not hilarious. It's terrible that he got fired, but it's hilarious that the Kings finally find some kind of success and then they seem to shoot themselves in the foot. But I think Luke Walton is a good coach. I think he'll continue to improve. An underrated storyline that I didn't realize until I saw it on Twitter. Luke Walton's new point guard is De'Aaron Fox, who seems to be kind of going back to college. Him and Lonzo Ball, and going back to even AAU in high school, they've always had a history. So I think De'Aaron Fox is going to get a lot better. I think Buddy Hield is going to continue to improve. Marvin Bagley is going to be really good. They have a nice young roster, and that seems to be what Luke Walton works well with. So hopefully Maybe they can make the playoffs next year, Reed. I think that would be great.
It'll be interesting. You know, they went 37-45 in LA this year. Luke Walton 98-148 in 3 seasons in Los Angeles. I don't think it's his fault. I really don't.
No.
I mean, he deserves some part of the blame. I don't think he's a great coach, but he was put in. I mean, he probably got a job too early, and he got the wrong job.
Yeah.
I mean, he was set up for failure.
Yeah, especially once, you know, LeBron comes in, and it seemed like Magic never wanted him from the start. Then Luke somehow survives Magic Johnson, but then decides to part ways with the Lakers. And I agree, he might have gotten in a little too early, but I think he's fit to be a head coach in the league, and you know, hopefully he gets his chance. You hope it's with a lot less drama, but it is the Kings, so we'll have to see.
Well, we'll jump.
I think he'll have a lot more success though.
Playoffs in the first 3 years. Do you think he will last longer than 3 years?
Yes, I do. Okay. I really do.
It'll be interesting to see that. Obviously, we'll be back talking about all the updating the playoff series on Wednesday. But let's jump into some Oklahoma State athletics really quickly. Okay. Oklahoma State sets a home run record at Kansas on Friday. 27 runs, 12 home runs.
Yeah.
School record. Then they lose the next 2 games. Not great. Not great. And they've got this was a pivotal series. We talked about that. They had to get this series win because it's a brutal schedule up ahead.
Yeah.
Cowgirls go up to Ames and do as we expected them to do. They're turning out to be a really, really good softball team. They sweep Iowa State, get a 12-3 win, run roll them in 5, 6-3 win on Friday as well. They played a doubleheader and then a 12-5 win on Saturday. They both have midweek games this week. Cowgirls take on Tulsa. So we will be back on Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching One-on-One. We'll see you then.